So, Scott, just purely from a political standpoint, how can Democrats look at this and think that more indictments is a good thing for hurting Donald Trump?
Because more indictments mean, and I do white-collar criminal defense work, more indictments mean that Donald Trump is less likely to stay in the race than more likely.
Why?
You can talk about numbers because it's very difficult to defend your liberty, to work with your lawyers, to face down 2 or 3 indictments, raise money, campaign. There'll be pressure from the RNC or GOP. There'll be pressure from his lawyers and his family to get out. At some point, the GOP is going to have to walk away from Donald Trump if he gets indicted. The federal indictment is very serious. I'm sorry, 30 counts of fraud, regardless of how ridiculous you think it is, those are simple cases to prove. I was in that office. And so there'll be pressure on him to get out. That's why all these candidates, in my opinion, are jumping in, because if he's not there, lightning can strike the bottle for any of those great candidates, despite their hypocrisy. They're all sycophants of Donald Trump. They've all supported him, and he's also employed them. So as a result, the Republicans have a real problem. But the legal system doesn't care about politics, and there will be obligations and requirements for him to be in court and to defend himself. And I got to tell you, it's going to have a huge impact on the political process and his political possibilities.
More on all of this after the break in terms of the Republican nomination as well. Panel, stay with us. Chris Matthews, thank you very much. Coming up, former President Trump's awaiting a decision on, as we just talked about, possible charges for handling his classified documents. Now there's a sign he may soon learn the outcome, and he's already responding. Scott Bolden has some thoughts on that, I think, when we come back. Oh, welcome back. Today, lawyers for former President Donald Trump met with special counsel Jack Smith's team investigating the handling of classified documents after Trump left office. NewsNation is told that Trump's lawyers requested the meeting, which is being held at the Justice Department. While these face-to-face sessions can mean charges are soon, they can also mean they are not soon. During an interview on the Todd Starnes radio show this afternoon, Trump was asked about whether the DOJ will charge him.
I don't know. They've never done it before. It's really unfair, but the people get it. They see it happening, and it makes you more popular. They want back what we had. No, this is a terrible thing that, you know what it's really called, it's influencing the election. It's called election interference.
Absolutely.
What they're doing.
Huh? He is right.
He's got to take the political consideration in mind. But New York went first. The feds, if they got an airtight case on super secret documents and an espionage violation by a former president, what do you want the feds to do? To walk away from that for political purposes? They cannot. They're going to bring that indictment. I've run elections here in the District of Columbia. I've monitored elections elsewhere, state elections. And I got to tell you, facts matter. And the narrative that these elections are unfair and corrupt, well, who's driving that narrative? These Republican candidates and Donald Trump, who have not won one substantive legal decision at the federal level, state level, or local level. Some 50 or 60 decisions during 2020 that were rejected. Lawyers have got their licenses taken for their representations in court. Gary Lake has lost in Arizona, and yet this drumbeat that the elections are unfair.